In a stunning escalation that could ignite a new flashpoint in the Americas, U.S. forces just bombed a boat in the Caribbean, killing 11 people aboard claimed to be Venezuelan drug traffickers heading straight for American shores. But is this really about stopping drugs? Or is Donald Trump playing a dangerous game of brinkmanship with Nicolás Maduro's regime? Welcome back to Libo News, where we dive deep into the stories shaping our world. Today, we're unpacking the explosive U.S. military moves in the Caribbean, warships deployed on a scale not seen in decades, a deadly airstrike on a suspected drug boat, and whispers of more to come. What's Trump's endgame here? Is it a genuine crackdown on narcotics flooding our streets, or a calculated show of force to rattle Venezuela's leadership? We'll break it down step by step, drawing on expert insights and the facts on the ground, all while keeping things balanced and real. Let's start with the timeline of events that's got everyone from Washington to Caracas on edge. It all ramped up after Trump's return to the White House in January. His administration has zeroed in on Latin America's drug trade like never before, with Venezuela squarely in the crosshairs. Weeks ago, the U.S. slapped a $50 million bounty on Maduro's head, accusing him of narco-trafficking charges he vehemently denies as a ploy to topple his government. Then came the naval muscle, guided missile destroyers, an amphibious assault group including the USS Iwo Jima, a nuclear-powered submarine, P-8 surveillance planes, and about 500 troops flooding into the Caribbean. Pentagon officials say it's all about choking off drug routes and dismantling criminal networks. But experts are raising eyebrows. This buildup echoes the gunboat diplomacy of over a century ago, when the U.S. flexed its might to influence Latin American affairs. The powder keg ignited on Tuesday with that bombing. Trump shared footage from the Oval Office, showing a small vessel exploding in flames. He called it a strike on 11 narco-terrorists from Venezuela's notorious Tren de Aragua gang, loaded with massive amounts of drugs bound for the U.S. Venezuela is very bad, Trump declared, blasting the country for exporting drugs and criminals that plague American communities. Venezuela fired back hard. Maduro dismissed the accusations as fabricated excuses for invasion, and one of his officials even questioned if the video was authentic. In response, Maduro mobilized what he claims are 4.5 million militia members, though analysts say that's a massive exaggeration. Most experts describe the militia as poorly trained civilians more suited for parades than combat. Maduro warned that any attack would turn Venezuela into a republic in arms, vowing fierce resistance. Now, here's where it gets intriguing. Why now? And what's the real objective? Analysts speaking to sources like the BBC suggest Trump might have multiple layers to this strategy. First off, intimidation. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth went on Fox News, declaring these operations won't stop with just this strike. Professor Alan McPherson, a U.S. Latin America relations expert at Temple University, points out the deployment's sheer scale, unmatched since 1965. He argues it harks back to old-school power plays designed to cow Maduro's regime into submission or even spark an internal revolt within Venezuela's military. But McPherson cautions that such a massive flotilla isn't necessary for a straightforward invasion or coup. It could be signaling readiness for precision ops, like armed drone strikes over Venezuelan airspace, as suggested by Stephen Dunhu, a former U.S. military intelligence officer focused on Latin America. Dunhu notes he's never seen this level of naval presence in the Southern Command area, but it's not invasion-sized. Instead, it might be about projecting dominance to disrupt drug flows while keeping options open for escalation. On the flip side, is this truly about drugs? The U.S. has long battled narcotics from the region, and Trump has made curbing the flow a cornerstone of his second term. Yet, Rebecca Bill Chavez, president of the Inter-American Dialogue and a former U.S. Undersecretary for the Western Hemisphere, calls this operation unusual. Typically, anti-drug busts are Coast Guard-led, involving regional partners for intercepts, not full-on military bombings. Chavez warns the risk of miscalculation at sea is skyrocketing, especially since it's unclear if the U.S. coordinated with Caribbean nations beforehand. Digging deeper. The boat strike raises questions. Venezuela is a transit hub for cocaine, but a 2023 UN report shows most heads to the US via the Pacific, not the Caribbean. US. Officials haven't detailed how they ID'd the gang members or the drugs involved. Legal experts are buzzing that this could skirt international maritime and human rights laws, bombing a vessel without clear due process. Secretary of State Marco Rubio defended it bluntly in Mexico, saying blowing up traffickers is what finally works after years of failed efforts. But here's the twist that's leaving observers scratching their heads. Mixed signals from the Trump team. Despite the tough talk, the US has cut deals with Maduro. They've deported migrants back to Venezuela, swapped prisoners in July, and even let Chevron resume oil operations there, a big economic lifeline for Maduro. As Chavez puts it, with destroyers steaming south and oil tankers heading north, people are confused about the true intent. Could this be about domestic politics? Trump supporters among Venezuelan and Cuban exiles in the US were hoping for harsher sanctions on leftist regimes. Instead, these pragmatic moves might be balancing anti-drug rhetoric with economic realities, like stabilizing energy prices. Or perhaps it's a broader message to Latin America: play ball on migration and drugs, or face the fleet. Trump's non-interventionist stance complicates things too. Officials like Undersecretary Christopher Landau have hinted at sending messages, but stressed that Venezuelans must reclaim their freedom themselves. "We can't go around changing governments at our whim," Landau said. So, is this saber-rattling to encourage internal change without direct US boots on the ground? The big picture. Escalation risks are mounting daily. A misstep could spark a naval confrontation, armed resistance in Venezuela, or backlash at home where Americans are wary of foreign entanglements. Yet, if it disrupts real drug networks, it might save lives on US streets ravaged by fentanyl and cocaine. As we watch this unfold, one thing's clear. Trump's Caribbean gambit is a high-stakes chess game with no easy winners. Is it a bold anti-drug offensive, a regime change feint, or something in between? The answers could reshape US, Latin relations for years. Stay tuned to Libo News for updates. We'll keep digging for the truth. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. What's Trump's real goal here? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.